Welcome to transforMATTIve, and today I am joined by Danny O'Connor.
Hello.
Danny, do you prefer Danny or Danielle?
Either one. Danny is perfect. Yeah.
Perfect. I just want to make sure I'm using your stage name, so I'm being
Yeah.
appropriate.
Danny is wonderful. Yeah, no, that's great. Thank you for asking though.
Of course. Where is your background from? Like, what brought you to New York to do transforMATTIve?
So I'm Irish. I grew up in Dublin, and during the pandemic decided it was time to definitely get out of there and always wanted to pursue acting. So I moved to New York. My mom's American, so I'm very lucky I have the dual citizenship and everything, so that makes life a lot easier. So I came here, studied, did 2 years at Stella Adler. It's a studio in the financial district. Yeah, it was amazing. It was so much fun. And I came across transforMATTIve and I'm so excited to be a part of it. Yeah, it's pretty cool.
We're very excited to have you. As soon as you started speaking in your interview, I'm just like, A, I hope she likes Eurovision, and B, uh,
Yes.
oh my God, Bambi Thug this year. So proud of
Hmm.
Ireland. Did
Hmm.
great.
They
Uh,
did it. Yeah, they definitely did it.
every American is just like, what are they talking about? Uh, Number two, I was just really happy because you had a really good sense of your timing and your idea. And as soon as you spoke and had an accent, I'm just like, oh, well, this is great. This is what we need. We need different vocal tones.
It's a nice cherry on top, I have to say. Yeah, I'm trying to hold on to it. I feel like since I moved, the accent is like coming and going, but as long as I can, I FaceTime my nanny. I chat with all my friends and family back home. So we're keeping it as long as we can.
Yeah, it's like I'm from Northern Ontario originally. I'm in
Oh,
Toronto
okay.
now, but like when I go back home, suddenly I'm talking like a true Nord Bear, and like the
Hmm.
the thick Canadian accent really comes out, and
Yeah.
everyone's just like, and I go back to Toronto and just like now my accent's just weird. No one knows where I'm from. It's
It's a
just
nice hodgepodge. That's the beauty of it, anyways.
yes, yes. But yeah, so your monologue today was Songbird.
Yes.
And how did you feel about it? How do you feel about the monologue so far?
Oh, well, when you sent it to me and I read it for the first time, it's like it's got such an amazing sort of like I like to call it a little sandwich where it begins with such hope and such beauty, speaking about how every human being kind of has a song in their heart and we move to a rhythm whether we're conscious of it or not. And then it's so nice that it ends again with this woman sort of taking back a little bit of the power that I think she's lost. And I mean, thank God I've never been in a situation similar to this in terms of being in a relationship with someone, but I think we can all, look back on our lives and know times when we've kind of felt like we've had to adapt or had to tamper down our own feelings and our own sort of core and spirit to match in with everybody else, and how that can really take away the essence of who we are. And then sometimes we almost forget what we were like before we kind of made that transition into sort of being what we think or what we're being told is how we should be. And then seeing this woman finally sort of like realize that who you are as a person doesn't have to be dependent on somebody else or dependent on what somebody else wants of you, and that you can be your own fully fledged person on your own. And sometimes you have to be alone to find yourself. I just think it was so beautiful to hear, I think, and it was written in such a beautiful way of like
Yeah.
there's hope throughout the whole thing. I think I really liked it. I thought it was amazing. So thank you for giving it to me. I'm very fortunate. I'm lucky to have it.
Well, thank you so much. It's very kind of you to say. I do love that you're already approaching this from an angle of hope. I think that
Mhm.
that's a very important part of this piece, especially when pieces can be interpreted as darker. Finding
Mhm.
choices that are very strong and very based in love and hope, I feel like
Yeah.
will always give you better results. There's nothing wrong with choosing dark choices, but especially for stage, especially in today's day and age, choosing choices that are based in love and hope can really resonate in a way that I think people need. So,
Yeah.
yeah, I'm excited to hear what you do with this.
Yeah.
And the one question I always ask is in this monologue, who do you think you're talking to?
That's a wonderful question. I When I first read it, it almost felt like it was more of a journal entry as opposed to speaking to a specific person. It kind of felt like this was like an unloading of sorts. but I kind of like the idea that she's speaking to someone, maybe not a stranger, but not someone that she knows too well. I think possibly someone, I can kind of see it like you're meeting someone for the first time and you have this instant connection with them because possibly they've experienced something similar to the way that you've experienced. And I think this is kind of, it's like a letter, like you said, it's a letter of hope, I think. So in my mind, I think she's talking to someone who is possibly in the situation that she's sort of starting to find herself come out of. And it's kind of a reaching out and a you can do it too kind of a thing.
I think
I
that's a
wonder if when you wrote it, did you have something in mind of who they were speaking to? I would love to.
when I wrote this, I had a very specific person I was writing this through the mouth of, and then it kind of evolved into me and my experiences, and then it
Oh,
kind of turned
wow.
into something else.
Yeah.
So the idea of talking, I always like to say, I don't like to color people in terms of how I want you to think of saying it to someone. I really
Mhm.
like the idea that you came up with, that talking to someone else who's going through it. So maybe like a support meeting, maybe just a friend
Yeah.
over coffee. There's lots of choices there that I think are very strong. And yeah, I just think that's an excellent place to start from.
Okay.
So feel free
Fabulous.
to take a moment and
Okay.
take a breath and on your own time.
Okay. I used to love to sing. Uh, my mom, um, my mom told me that before I could talk, I could sing. I think we're all born a little musical. We're born into a universe that's filled with song. It's it's natural. Our entire existence sways to a beat we can't hear, but comprehend with every fiber of our beings. We know what it means to be music incarnate, even if we don't always understand it. I sang constantly. I was never the best singer, but I always sang with great enthusiasm. Yeah, I wanted the world to hear how my voice could rise above the situation I was in. In times of trouble, we turn to music, or at least that's the theory. Often our voice is the one thing that people can't take away from us, or at least that's how it should be. He called me his little songbird because I was always humming while I cooked or cleaned or played games. I never even thought about it. I just did. And for a long time, it was something I enjoyed, something I needed. It was how I processed my joy. Song was how I could overcome the world around me and give myself a voice. It was soothing. It was comfort. But as time went on and things soured, I noticed some things. He'd get annoyed or uncomfortable. He didn't like it anymore. He wanted me quiet so that he could work. And I began to be limited in the places I could sing or the times I could sing. I knew living with someone would require adjustments, but the fact that it required my silence was hard. I didn't want to be quiet, but I wanted him more, so I was. I began to sing less and less. But before long, that wasn't even enough. Before long, it became I needed to be quiet. It became necessary to not rock the boat. I needed to ensure that I don't make him upset. God, I feel like it's been ages since I sang. I don't even remember the sound of my own voice. But sometimes being by yourself again can remind you of the things that you were before you became what you had to be. I I cooked for myself yesterday. And as I did it, I sang.
I don't know if you can see that, but like, damn.
I was getting a two reading. Oh, it's such
Uh,
a monologue.
yeah, you nailed it. That's beautiful. That's
Thank you.
You have a really good handle on the restraint of the piece. You know, you have a really good sense of the vulnerability of the piece. Um, at one point, I kind of left my body because I'm just like, you hit me in a place that I wasn't expecting to go back to, where I'm just like,
Oh,
oh, oh, okay, this is happening.
it's still
Um,
there. Oh my
it
God.
well, these sorts of things never actually go away, right? When you're
Yeah.
talking about these things, and yeah, this is very, you did a beautiful job of just understanding moments to be still, moments to be, there is, normally my one note is go bigger, but
Mhm.
yeah, you just have this really good idea of how to hold back and how to have that restraint already. There's a lot of tension in the piece where you can really feel that there's moments that you can, yeah, you just have a beautiful handle on this already.
Thank you very much. Any notes or anything that you were picking up on or angles you want me to come at it differently through or anything like that?
I feel like this, what you have on this is actually a very solid handle on it. There's always places where we can add more color to it. There's
Hmm.
always places we can add more, especially warmth,
Yeah.
because when you have those sections of solid warmth, it just makes the parts where it cools down even more intense.
Hmm.
So, especially at the beginning where you're talking about, uh,
Everyone
where
having the music in there in themselves and mom always singing and stuff like that part.
yeah,
Hmm.
very, there's a really beautiful opportunity there to really like sync. You have a beautiful quality to your voice and to your just, I don't want to say spirit because I don't think that's the right word. You have a very good handle on what you're presenting here already at a point that I'm just like, yeah, at this, as you rehearse this more and more, I think a lot more layers of color are going to come through, and
Hmm.
yeah, that was just really beautifully done. And I'm very
Oh,
excited to see where we go from here.
yeah, I'm excited. It's an honor. Thank you again for giving me this piece. I'm looking forward to continue working on it and finding the more nuanced. And I think that the way that you wrote it, because it's so it's a memory monologue, but at the same time, she's in it at the same point. So I think kind of finding those times where she's almost like you said, like it's that moment where she's almost out of her body back when, and I think when we look back on our lives, we do kind of look at them sometimes through like rose tinted glasses. Like, of course,
Hmm.
she had issues and things, but maybe at that point in her life when she could sing freely, it was rainbows and sunshine.
Yeah.
And so, sort of finding that contrast between how she felt then versus how she feels now and trying to get back to that place, I think that's going to be a such an incredible cathartic thing to work through. So I'm excited to keep going with it.
Yeah. I think some of my biggest notes are there are some parts we can hit with humor because
Mhm.
when you can find those moments with humor, it will make the bitter extra flavorful.
Yeah.
Things like I was never the best singer, but I sang with great enthusiasm.
Hmm. Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah.
Yes. 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 Yes.
The very Oscar Wilde. It's just like I play with great enthusiasm. I'm just like, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
finding the light and the yes, okay. I like
Mhm.
that.
Yeah. There's something very special about adding the comedy and then twisting it into real.
Yeah.
So I think you have a good handle. Like you already have a very good natural handle on that. Once we get you on your feet, once it's all live, I have full confidence that this will really start to sparkle and shine. even finding the love in things like he called me his little songbird. There can be layers of pride there. There can be layers
Mhm.
of great emotion and emotionality. I think that there's a lot to work with here.
Yeah.
And I think you're going to be doing I think you're doing a great job of it. And I'm excited to see where it goes from here.
Thank you. Me too. It'll be good.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Apart like no, that was just absolutely great. I'm very I'm very proud of you. I think that was just an excellent first read through. So
Thank you, Maddie. Oh, now I'm excited. This will be and live. I think there's just going to be something so cathartic about doing it with people there to
yeah.
really experience it with you too. I think it's gonna be great.
Yeah. There's the great thing about shows like this is that you can have a lot of energy and everything can kind of build. And then once you're in the room with everyone else, no one knows what's coming in the monologue.
Hmm.
So when you're watching the most of my monologues tend to lean comedic. So what I think is really funny is when you're in the room, everyone's just like, is this a funny one or a sad one? What's gonna happen? And then you're gonna have that really beautiful. It starts off very light and fluffy, and then it
Hmm.
gets dark and twisted, but then yeah, you're gonna have that beautiful moment where you're just like, oh yeah, this is my monologue. This is what it is. And then at the end, it's just like, oh no, it's sad.
Oh, damn. Okay. I see where we've gone here. All right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hmm.
Uh,
Okay.
wonderful work. I can
Thank
tell
you.
you've been working on it very hard already, and it's great.
Oh, fabulous. All right. Well,
All
only
right.
thing left to do is keep working on it and then get it up on its feet.
Absolutely. Is there anything that you'd like to plug, social medias or upcoming events?
Um, right now, no, I'm enjoying working on this and looking forward to getting it up on this feet. I'm not a big social media person myself, so we'll speak through Songbird, and that's the most important thing.
Of course. Well, we look forward to seeing you, and I can't wait to meet you when we get down to New York.
Fabulous. Thank you, Maddie.